Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Music of the Week. I know I said I was going to get this one done yesterday, but to be honest with you, I just went a day of not doing a video. Considering how long it took me to get the Spiritfarer one edited, I did it in one day, but it was a pain in the hole and I didn't want to do another video so soon after that. These don't take as long to edit, but fuck it, I'm doing it now. Thank you to everyone who watched my stream last night. It was just a random Friday night gaming bollocks thing, and yeah, I got about 5 albums for this episode, so let's get through them as quick as we can. Starting off quite well, Belvedere with their 6th album, Hindsight is the Sixth Sense. Now, these are a band from Canada. They've been around since technically the mid-90s, but they broke up at some point in the 2000s and they reformed, I think, a few years ago. I could be a bit wrong about that, but there are a few things I'm not wrong about. 1, their name is Belvedere and they're from Canada. 2, this is their 6th album. 3, it's really goddamn good. I'm giving this one an A. I super enjoyed this one. It's not the most nuanced thing and it can be a bit of repetitive pacing, but it's such a fun pacing. There's so much great instrumental work. The fact that you can actually hear the bass is really good because you don't get that a lot, but then again they are sort of like a melodic sort of skate punk act, so yeah, and that's one thing Canada doesn't put out enough of. They're good for pop punk and some really good metalcore like counterparts, but like in terms of just straight up skate punk, like the Tony Hawk stuff, you don't get that a lot. So Belvedere really just done it in that regard. Also, this album is just really great. I like the lyrical themes, are really good political sort of leaning stuff. How personalised they feel too. Really good production as well. It's just a solidly handled, really nicely put together album, and also the only one in this video that even reaches anything like an A. So yeah, that includes A plus A minus. This is the only one like in that sort of region. So yeah, it is sort of only downhill from here, but you'll find out. Next up is Grave Miasma with their 2nd album, Abyss of Wrathful Deities. Now, technically, these guys have been around since 2002, but they had a different name called Gut Molester up until 2006, where they changed it to the current name. They're from good old London, England. They're sort of a black metal-ish act, and this album is good. I'm giving it a B-. I do have some issues with the production, like, it does sound like they were playing their instruments in a really long and wide corridor. It just doesn't really fit super well, but yeah, for the most part it's really good. Like, it's got good black metal stuff in it, you know, really fast-paced, really like angry sounding. Decent lyrical themes, I guess, of like, you know, the afterlife is the main one of the album, so all the fun at the fair. Sort of tries to tell a concept, but it gets lost in itself sometimes. I still sort of recommend it though, which is why I'm giving it the B- grade. Yeah, there are parts that don't work, but there are more parts that work than the ones that don't. So yeah, the fact that this is their first like full album in 8 years, and they didn't. I was gonna say they didn't do a lot. I haven't listened to their first album, but I don't know if I will. I might. I want to sort of compare them. I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but yeah, solid instrumentation work, solid capturing the black metal sound. Could view some polish in the production area. Structuring's a bit weird, but I think it's okay as it is, so it's serviceable. Next up is Liar Thief Bandit with Deadlights. Liar Thief Bandit are a Swedish rock band. I've been covering a lot of those this year, I've noticed. And much like those other Swedish rock bands, this is really good, sort of like hard rock, sort of alternative feel. Giving it a B+. I really liked a lot of this. There are a lot of moments in this that really clicked. It does sort of stumble on rare occasions, but it's really saved by the production. I think there's only like 3 members of the band as well, and it's like solidly put together in that respect. So yeah, once again, there's just a lot about it that really works. It's all tied up nicely. The guitar solo work is really good, and I wish there were more of it. Just a solid rock album. So yeah, probably the one I'd recommend the second most besides Belvedere. I enjoyed a lot more of this than I was expecting to. It's not perfect, but it's really damn good, so maybe give it a try. Next up is Mirth for War with their debut album, Life Casting Glass. These are a band that formed only like about 2 years ago, so yeah, they're a very new project, and they really got to work in putting this one out. They might have done an EP before this, I'm not really sure. It's really solid metalcore for what it's worth. I did enjoy a lot of it. I'm giving it a B. I feel like there are some areas which are a bit generic, and it does drag on to try and tell a story. It's a bit better told than Grave Miasma's attempts, but yeah, I didn't really get that feel, but I still really like this. I think it's produced quite well, and they have a good head on their shoulders. I think they need a slightly better direction for the next album, but hopefully, it is a debut. It's a metalcore debut, so they're going to stick to a few of the tropes that you would expect. I sort of like the post-hardcore lean in the overall sound. I wish they did that a bit more. I think all in all, yeah, it is a good album, hence the B grade, so maybe give it a spin. I did like it. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, and I have hope for the potential of these guys. So, yeah, I don't really have many complaints. It's just solid, good, really, really good. And also, not that it really matters, but they're from Colorado. I thought I'd throw that in there because I forgot to do it earlier. But we'll move on to the last album now. And the last album for this video is Solanum with Ruled by the Crawl. These are a Canadian sort of crossover thrash hardcore punk act, and the last Canadian hardcore punk act I covered was As We Suffer, and I gave their album an A minus, sorry, not an E minus, A minus. And one of the main criticisms I had of that album was mostly the lyrics. I do have the same criticism about Ruled by the Crawl, and I'm not giving this a stronger grade. I'm only giving this a C. I feel like it's sort of really generic, doesn't really do a lot. The production can trip over itself quite a bit. It tries, again, much like As We Suffer, it tries to be a bit too ham-fisted, but it's not as well put together as We Suffer's album is. And I think there's a lot that's holding this back, and I can't really fully point out what it is. It's serviceable as a crossover thrash album, and does its job, and, they are part of, their record label is Horror, Gore, Pain, Death, I think is what it is. Or Horror, Pain, Gore, Death, it's one of the two. They've got a lot of bands sort of similar to this under their banner. I don't know if I've listened to any of them. I think Solana might be my first. I hope some of those are a bit better. And, once again, I love Canadian acts. Can really bring the thunder. I think Belvedere at the start of the episode, but I wasn't really feeling this. I wasn't super enjoying this as much as I thought I would. It's got good moments in it, but it can be a tiny bit of a slog, and the album's not that long, so it is weird. The lyrics are okay, the instrumental work is pretty decent, the production and structure can be a bit of a deal breaker. The band do perform well though, and I can rarely, if ever, fault that. So, yeah, that's why I'm giving it the C. So, yeah, not that C, just a C grade. So there you go. And that will about do it for this episode. Don't have a lot of other things planned. Within the week, I will try. Within next week, I will try and get the Metallica stuff done for backtracking, the very brief history, and both parts of the actual episode. I also really need to actually set up that next PBW versus AVW card for Tuesday. I haven't done that yet. The only thing I can actually promise is not even the PBW versus AVW stream. Maybe that, I don't know. New music of the week? Probably, if I can get all the albums from yesterday listened to in time, because there's only about 5. I've only listened to 1. Maybe a Friday Night Review tomorrow, if there is one. We'll see what's next. I will see what's next. I don't like saying that because I like leaving you a bit more to chew on, but yeah, I don't really have a lot planned right now, unless I get my house in gear. But I will see you all for whatever's next on the channel, and as always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye.